your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Freddie. With me, as always, is the great Jeff Dye. Let's start the show right now. All right, you guys, we're going to do predictions. Why? Because there are multiple pay-per-views going on. We're going to get right into it, but we're going to do something new because we've noticed on social media, you guys like the predictions and you like making predictions too. So here's what we're going to do. It's all about bragging rights to see who's smarter, to see who's better, to see who knows more about professional wrestling. Damn it, I'm sick of it being a tie. So we're breaking it up between Jeff, our awesome producer Alex, and myself. We're going to see who gets the most right with each of these pay-per-views or premium live events. It's so stupid. Premium live events. Got to have a better name than that. Anyway, we're going to see who gets them right, and y'all are going to get to vote too. And whoever the best is out of y'all and whoever the best is out of our triumvirate will be the Federation Prediction Champion. Jeff, I don't want to make any predictions too soon, but I predict total and complete victory on my behalf.
You are better at predicting these things because I always go with my heart. I don't go with what I believe will happen. I go with what I want to happen, and that's how I always get my predictions all mixed up.
If we do well with this, though, isn't like one of those like gambling sites letting people gamble on wrestling?
Yeah, you can gamble on wrestling. I've done it before.
You could start making people money, dude. Yeah. You gambled on professional wrestling.
Yeah, I had some inside sources on some female wrestling.
Don't say that. You'll get arrested, bro.
I don't know how it works.
Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. AEW is having their Double or Nothing event. Pretty good card. I'm not super stoked for every match because not every match has had a story coming up to it. Some of them have been quick and fast forward, but the people within the match are really good, and I expect a good pay-per-view. I might even be in Las Vegas when this event takes place, and I might try to sneak a couple tickets, Jeff, if you want to sneak out there with me.
Dude.
All right, first up, and I don't know if this is the order they're going to be on the card, but we're going with Takeshita versus Jon Moxley. Takeshita, as you all know, is with Don Callis, the evil Don Callis with the 6 scar on his head that he took for the business because he's a stud. They're going to wrestle. Jon Moxley has a title from Japan, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Who's going to win? Jon friggin' Moxley's going to win. The friggin' werewolf, the angry promo, the walk through the crowd, Sandman style, which is always cool. We love Jon Moxley. He does look like a werewolf, and he's going to win this match.
He's not just who I like to win, he's also who I want to win. So that is also my prediction. Big Jon Moxley guy. He feels like the spirit of AEW in a way. Like when you go to a show, see a Jon Moxley promo. You see him walking through the crowd. I don't know. It just feels like he is AEW in a lot of ways.
He's the heart and soul of it. For real. Like I think when him and Punk had that beef, story-wise and kind of real-wise, the AEW fans were so behind Moxley. I think it was that moment. It was the dollars and cents promo where he was like, I'm the heart and soul of this company. He's like, yeah, you be the heart and soul. I'll be the dollars and cents. And the crowd was like, whatever, you can be the dollars and cents. This guy rolls with us. Jon Moxley you could tell he's one of those guys that just gives you kind of everything every single friggin' week. And it's a wonder that he hasn't taken a vacation yet. But yeah, Jon Moxley all the way. So right now we could go 1-0, but we would be tied. Screw a tie. We're not going to be the same all the way down the line. Just so you know, our producer, Alex, has gone the other way. And he thinks it's time for Takeshita to get over, as they say, and get a big win. He's gotten big wins over Kenny Omega. He got a win over Chris Jericho, I think. It would be pretty crazy if he got a win. And not a dark horse pick. You might actually be right on this.
You two boys, always talking about
I picked Moxley.
My Cultura and Latin this, Latin that, but you boys are way more loyal to the Asians. You really are, you know?
Guilty. I would rather live in Japan. All right. I would. It's awesome there, dude. The AEW TBS Championship is being defended by Willow Nightingale. Her manager, Stokely Hathaway, will be with her. They haven't always seen eye to eye, but I think they're getting a little more eye to eye lately. And she's wrestling, finally, Mercedes Moné. And this is kind of a rematch from a match they had in Japan where I almost called her Sasha Banks, where Mercedes got injured in the match and she was out for a long time. It felt like almost a year. I haven't loved this story because it's taken too long. I felt they debuted Mercedes too early just because she was from Boston at that big Boston show. And it kind of stalled and fizzled since then. It started to pick up as of late. And the go home when Willow cut that promo on her and then put the power slam through the table was finally like a good moment, I thought, in the story. So I think Mercedes is going to win because she took the bump at this is just my philosophy on it. She took the bump at the contract signing. And if my memory serves me correct, usually the person that gets jacked up at the contract signing wins the match. So I'm going with Mercedes Moné. Not Monet like the painting, but money like cash.
Yeah, well, before my prediction, can we all agree that they've been booking her terribly in AEW? It's been so uneventful. It's like not enough wrestling, very predictable stuff. I love Sasha Banks. I love Koska Reeves. I love Mercedes Moné, a.k.a. Money. I'm a big fan of everything she does. She's great. She's talented. She's a 5-tool wrestler as far as she's got all the stuff she's got going for her. She's also very beautiful. I couldn't be a bigger fan, and I'm just so annoyed with the way they're using her over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have her lose, and this is a big push for Willow Nightingale. But I do think that they will let Mercedes Moné, it's hard for me to call her that, win. So that's my prediction. But I want Willow to win because I think that that'd be cool. It'd be very unpredictable, but I don't think that they're going to do anything unpredictable with this one.
In another unpredictable match, I think everybody is going to pick. Our producer also picks Mercedes Moné, so we're all the same on that. So the only person who has a chance to go up really is Alex, unless he's wrong on our first match. But next up is the AEW Women's World Championship. This, to me, is the easiest match of the night to pick. I don't see Serena Deeb being the AEW World Champion, especially with what they have going with Toni Storm and now her sort of building other people up as well with Mariah May. So Toni Storm, easiest pick of the night. She's going to get the win. Serena Deeb's great wrestler, but I just don't see them putting the title on her.
I'm gonna disagree. Just for the sake of disagreeing.
You're trying to take the lead.
I'm trying to go strategic here. I think Toni Storm will lose. I think that they will. Let's be honest, it's not going to happen. But I'm not going to pick Toni Storm. I actually don't like what Toni Storm's doing. We've talked about it last week.
All right, Alex, our producer, is also going with Toni Storm, the right pick. The AEW International Championship. This is the title that Roderick Strong got off of Orange Cassidy. This is the match that is going to be the match of the night. How do you say that, Freddie? You don't even know. This is my prediction. It's prediction day. Will Ospreay is going to become the international champion in what will be his best match so far. Roderick Strong's a freaking awesome wrestler. He's going to give him a great match. There might even be a little interference that Ospreay has to deal with. And then Ospreay, the Tom Hardy of professional wrestling, is going to walk away the international champion, and we'll see where he goes from there. What about you? What do you say, sir?
Yeah, zero chance Roderick Strong wins this match. This is Ospreay. It is the Ospreay decade. You know what I'm saying? I think that you're not going to hear me say Ospreay is going to lose for a while. He's too good, too big, too valuable to the company. This guy's a winning machine.
Yeah, I agree completely. And so does our producer because he's smart and wise. All three of us will Ospreay. Next, the AEW TNT Championship in a barbed wire steel cage match. Could have picked any kind of match. Could have picked a pillow fight. Instead, the old man picked a barbed wire steel cage so that he can bleed like a stuck pig. And Malachi Black will be wrestling against him. I have no idea why the old man would pick this match, except it's time for Malachi Black to be a singles champion. It's time for Malachi Black to finally get the push. Maybe he didn't get pushed since he came to the company because he was dealing with injuries. Maybe that's why he was always in tag matches to protect an injury or help him rehab so he wasn't doing things that would get him hurt. But apparently he's all good now. He's going to finally wrestle in a meaningful singles match possibly the first meaningful singles match that he's wrestled in since he joined the company, and he's going to win, Jeff. Malachi Black will be the TNT championship, and the House of Black will have yet another championship. They don't have Julia's anymore, but they'll have their championship back in the house. What say you?
I am going to go for the lead again here. This is a
oh shit.
Yeah, this is why I think
right
Adam Copeland will retain. I think that it's too soon for Malachi, but they're going to build that story. Well, it's not too soon in Malachi Black's career, I'll tell you that. But it's definitely too soon for this specific storyline. So I think that they'll have Adam retain in some sort of hodgepodge way. But I think then they'll keep building for Malachi to keep chasing.
Anarchy in the arena match. I don't like these 1,800-person tag matches, Jeff. You know I'm not a fan of them.
It's very
However, sometimes they're necessary, especially when an evil company is trying to take over your company, the evil company being the Elite, and they're trying to take over AEW. They already took out Tony Khan, these sons of bitches. Then they took out Kenny Omega, who's recovering from a disease I can't even pronounce, and they hit him in his stomach, where he let us know if he gets hit in the stomach, it could end his life, not just his career, and they did it anyway, these bastards. So he put together his own team, and his team's pretty badass, except one of them already got hurt. So here we go. Eddie Kingston was in it. He suffers an injury. He loses his strong openweight championship to Gabe Kidd in NJPW. The Elite were on hand for a post-match attack, and they conveniently played into a storyline excuse for the Mad King's unfortunate injury. And AEW chose a surprising replacement in someone we haven't seen in a little while, Jeff, Mr. Darby Allin. So it will be the Elite, which is Okada, the Rainmaker Okada, who's a really badass wrestler, by the way. Matthew Jackson, evil Matt as Matthew Jackson, who's good Matt as Matt. Nicholas Jackson, also when he's good, he's just Nick. And Jack Perry versus Team AEW, which is everybody's favorite wrestler, Bryan Danielson. Even when he's a bad guy, we love him. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Darby Allin. I'll say this. Story-wise, without Eddie Kingston, it's a little harder for them to win. However, they got a shot, but I'm going with the Elite because I think this story is going to go much longer than we think, and I think it can't end until Kenny Omega's healthy and he ends it himself as like the advocate for Tony Khan. So I'm saying the Elite are going to win the Anarchy in the Arena match, which is a 4-on-4 tag match, all at the same time match. I don't know. It's a match.
I got to go with Team AEW when we're talking about Anarchy. If we're talking about Anarchy, which also was what I love. They do these matches well in AEW, where there's a moment
Yeah, you
here,
like these matches.
and then a moment here, and then a moment here. You don't really even care who wins. You just get so many cool things going on and so many good moments. I feel like when we get on the podcast and we start talking about, those are the moments that are sticking out in my head. Like, oh, did you see that one spot where so-and-so did such and such? So these are the type of matches I really like, and I think AEW does them best. But you can't, if we're talking Anarchy in the ring, I know that Eddie Kingston is out, but the fact that Darby Allin is back, come on. It's an Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm not going against
He's kind of
Darby
crazy,
Allin,
though. Yeah,
at all. I'm picking Darby Allin's team.
Yeah, I see.
I love that he's back. There's going to be some huge moments. We win no matter what because this match is going to be awesome, in my opinion. So I'm picking Team AEW.
Finally, sir, we have the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland, we love him, multiple-time guest here on the show, with his awesome manager, Prince Nana. That entrance is going to be great. Versus Christian Cage with the Patriarchy, Killswitch, formerly known as Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, formerly known as Nick Wayne, and Mother Wayne, who's always known as Mother Wayne. Our producer, who also picked the Elite to win our last match, picked Swerve to win this match. I, of course, picked Swerve as well. It'll be tough. He's going to have to overcome 8 different people because the Patriarchy is big, but he's still going to win. Ain't no way they're taking the belt off Swerve that soon. Swerve Strickland What say you?
I agree. I think there's just no way Swerve doesn't retain. It's the Swerve era. He's the champ. We're not going to see him going nowhere, so that's a safe bet. But I do want to give a nod to, I was just watching literally last night to kind of catch up on all the wrestling of the week. And is there any better bad guy than Christian Cage?
He's such a great piece of shit.
So
like,
good.
He's such a petty son of a bitch. Like, and in real life, he's like the nicest Canadian dude ever. But he just knows how to be a scumbag.
He's the best.
He's great.
He's the best at being like you said, a piece of shit. He is the perfect piece of shit. So shout out to Christian.
I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, we mean it. Me too. I mean it as a like he's so good at it. It's awesome. So tip of the hat to Christian, but Swerve's the pick, and it's the right pick.
There's a history in AEW's Double or Nothing, even though it's a short history, of big surprise returns at this particular pay-per-view, Jeff. I'll give you a few names that could be due for a return, and you let me know. This will be a bonus pick for everybody. I'll give you a couple that have been injured and then a crazy one. We could get Hangman, Adam Page, master of the buckshot lariat. He could come back. We could get, well, he's better than you and he knows it. We could get Maxwell, Jacob Friedman. He could return. I don't know story-wise if that would work. Or something crazy. Who knows? You could get Goldberg. You get Goldberg to show up and maybe he spears and jackknifes everybody. You think any of those could come true, sir?
Well, Freddie, some believe that maybe Jamie Hayter will return or Britt Baker whenever, just when she's...
I love that she's actually a dentist.
Yeah, when she's not in the ring, she's a dentist. Here's the thing. Everybody has got all these extra predictions for bonus points on who's coming back. Well, I'm going with Ric Flair. That's who I think will be back, is Ric Flair. Fresh from a Gainesville pizza joint, all hungover, going, you know who I am. I could buy this place. He'll look at a fan and say, I'll give you $1,000 to tell this whole arena that they're pieces of garbage. Do you know who I am? That's who I think's returning. Ric Flair, fresh from a Gainesville pizza joint.
I'm going to go with the dentist, Britt Baker, and she might hit Flair with his finisher when he comes out just to shut him up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for listener reviews. And Jeff, we're going to take some criticism this week.
Okay.
This guy gave us 3 stars.
3
not 5.
stars. Oh, crap.
His name's Marco Polo.
Okay.
Not sure that's what his mama named him, but that's what the man wants to be called. That's what I'm going to call him.
Fair enough.
Marco says, maybe he should sound like Marco Polo. Hey, he's going to sound like Mario from Super Mario Bros. Freddie has experience as a writer for WWE, but instead of using that knowledge to talk about their shows, he gives 80% of each episode to AEW, which many fans, including myself, don't even watch. You need to balance out the discussion. All right, Marco, look, it's a fair criticism. However, I will say this. Last week was all WWE, baby. Mm-hmm. And the week before that was almost all WWE. So I'm trying to balance it before I even read your thing. I will say this. Lately, we've silenced some of the WWE talk because the storylines haven't been there yet. They wrapped up a ton at WrestleMania and they're just sort of starting others. If I've been doing that beforehand, then I will try and be more aware of that. And as WWE stories inspire me, I will speak on them more. But you're right. I have left things out like all the Uncle Howdy secret stuff and all that. But that's just because I don't do social media. And that's where they're telling the majority of that story. So I don't have I'm not checking QR codes and checking mysterious messages online and stuff like that. So in that regard, you got me and I'm guilty and I'm in cuffs and I'm waiting to see what the judge says. But outside of that, I feel like I do pretty.
Yeah. Also, I'll say this to Marco Polo. Hey, thanks for listening. And listen, Freddie Prinze will talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. You shut your mouth when you're talking about the Prince like that. His scumbag wants to comment 3 stars and then go, oh, you don't talk enough about what I want you to. What about all the people at TNA, all those listeners? We're not talking about TNA wrestling, are we? What about all the...
I'm blowing it.
Yeah, he's giving you a podcast. We're doing our best to entertain you guys, and you're going to come at us with that? Shut the hell up.
Marco, you got both sides of the coin there. So I hope you enjoyed it, man. You got the heads and the tails. It was very DC comic Two-Face.
Yeah.
I flipped the coin.
Hell,
and
we'll
Star
talk about
came
baseball
up
the whole episode if you want. Or we don't give it.
Please
We'll
no.
talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Next week, 80s baseball.
Yeah, just mustaches. We're just going to talk about mustaches and baseball of the 80s.
I love that. That's hysterical. So now you guys know I'm willing to accept the critical review. However, you might get attacked by Mr. Jeff.
The dog will bite. Fred's a nice guy. You know, Fred's one of the nicest people I've ever met, but don't go after him. Jeff Dye's coming. Jeff Jackpot's coming to defend. So let's talk before the episode ends. I'd like to talk about this Uncle Howdy. Now, I know when Bray Wyatt was alive, and rest in peace, we were huge fans. You know, you weren't a huge fan of the Uncle Howdy mask. No. You weren't a huge fan of the Uncle Howdy storyline. It was almost like a way to bring Bo Dallas into pro wrestling using the creativity of the one and only Bray Wyatt in
100%. That's what it was.
But now that Bray has passed, have you changed your position on maybe this happening? Do you think we'll see the Fireflies kind of thing? Like, do you think we'll see like a Secret Six where there's like characters kind of like based off of the creative stuff that Bray created?
So 100% yes is the short of it, right? And I want to stay open-minded. I haven't done any of the QR codes, so I don't know any of the answers to the secrets, but I have seen stuff on Instagram when I scroll through Instagram and I'm bored, and I've seen people speculate that there's going to be this Wyatt 6 or Wyatt 5. I think it was 6. And I've seen people speculate as to who's going to be in it. Look, if they have the right person or people talking and the right person and people wrestling, it can work at various degrees. I mean, they've made Judgment Day work sometimes. Sometimes they don't give them any story. They made LWO work sometimes not enough. You know what I mean? So it can work. I just, without Bray, it's going to be a tougher sell. I was never big. I love masks, all right? I collect masks. I was never a fan of the way the Uncle Howdy mask even looked. Mm-hmm. So right away, it's like a commercial or a trailer for a movie. If you don't like the trailer, you're like, oh, that movie sucks. Right. You didn't even see the movie. You know what I mean? So how do you know? But it just something about it turned you off, right? So that's what the mask was for me. But I'm willing to be open to see what kind of a story they're trying to tell and what his motivation for coming back is. And I think they can tell a story with a lot of honesty, because it's a brother missing his brother. Whatever relationship Howdy had to Bray, they can bring real stuff into that. And he can profess a lot of pain and want to express that pain to the WWE universe and inflict that pain on other wrestlers that he feels, aren't appreciating what they have or whatever his motives are. I'm willing to see whatever they want to do, but the mask is a tough sell for me. It's just, it didn't look. I watch horror movies, right, man. I'm a mask snob. You know what I mean?
Well, a good mask can do the opposite too. Like sometimes the character stinks, but just because it looks cool, we're like Darth Maul sucked, but we loved Darth Maul before we even saw the movie. Everyone's going out buying the poster of Darth Maul's head. We're buying the double-edged lightsaber. Like if something's cool looking enough, we're all in. Sometimes, the Uncle Howdy mask is rough, but I am interested to see what they can maybe do with this world, because we loved that world so much anyways. I'm sure there's a lot of wrestling fans that are like, don't touch it, don't mess with it. But then there's other people that are like, let's explore this. Alexa Bliss comes back. Maybe if there's a way to tie in.
Yeah, she could work too. There's a lot of people that could work. I don't think he would work in that family.
You don't think so?
I don't think Jay would work. I think he would be someone they would go after.
Because Jay Uso's getting everyone to do the Firefly thing with the flashlights on things. But what if
maybe I just
some
feel
sort of secret
clash.
kind of in the family? You got Eric Rowan. There's so many things they could do with the characters and stuff. So I'm excited to see it. I'm all for it. My biggest complaint about Bray Wyatt was it seemed like he would be gone for 6 months, and I'm like, when is the Fiend coming? I felt like I was always waiting on some Bray line stuff because I couldn't get enough Bray Wyatt. So now that Bray Wyatt's passed, maybe they can find a way to honor him and keep those really cool ideas that he had alive.
I promise I will give it a shot, and I promise all of you we will be back next week and every week, and we will see you next week. And you can listen to us. And if you want to see our faces, you can check us out on social media. Have a safe and happy and really, really fun Memorial Day. And don't forget, it's more about the soldiers than it is about us partying. So if you know one, give them some love. And if you don't, find one and give them some love. This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.